This is The Session. I like the way it's going down.
Make some noise!
Where we talk about endless topics, spanning from health, violence in the community, relationships, music and how it's changed, and a whole lot more.
Make room.
Here's your host, I am L, broadcasting all the way from Harlem, New York.
And you need to keep it locked right here.
And this is The Session.
What's up?
What's up?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Hold on. These real quick. Hello.
Juan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
Hey, it's Yori. How you doing?
I'm good. How you been?
I'm great, excited.
Me too. I'm just waiting for more people to join. It looks like a few people just left. Look, inviting you to talk. Hello. Hold on. I gotta go back to the other room. It's all
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, let me invite Charlie.
Hi, Candice.
Hi.
Love your avatar.
Charlie,
Yo,
what's up? Can you invite your cousin by any chance? I can't find him.
yeah, we was just here. I don't know what. Oh,
Let
here.
me look for him again. He's here. Oh God. We're having a little technical difficulties right now. Just everybody be patient. Show will start soon.
Okay, we're here. I'm going to mute myself until it's time.
How you did that?
Hey, lady, you
There's
gotta
a mute.
add him.
There's a mute button on the side.
Oh, okay. Wait a
I see a
minute.
little microphone that has crossed out, so.
Okay.
When you
I hear
talk,
voices now.
We all
I'm hearing
here.
voices
So
now.
everybody's here now. So I just want to say everybody. I want to say thank you for everybody being here so far. I want y'all to introduce yourselves to everybody so people can get to know y'all. Tell us about what you do and everything.
okay. I guess I'll go first.
Go ahead.
My name is Candice. My first name is Candice. I'm also on IG at the Arrogant Princess. I am like my job. I'm an operations manager, but I also have a small business. I do custom crafts, and I like to talk SHIT to men, about their issues.
Right.
So we here to get on y'all tonight.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for that. You can also drop your Instagram, Facebook, if anybody want to get in contact with you. For the listeners.
Okay. All right. So I'm on Instagram at the Arrogant Princess. I'm on TikTok at underscore the Arrogant Princess, and I'm also on Facebook at the Arrogant Princess. I also have an Etsy shop. You can find me on Etsy. My shop is called Custom Bling Gang, and I will customize anything. I can bling out anything, your Crocs, your slides, your anything, phone cases, whatever it is. I am the bling goddess.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Next.
I think a man should go.
Charlie, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, my name is Charlie Rock. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook as Charles Rocfella, the Harlem Night. I work in Mount Sinai Hospital. I prep cook. I have I'm a licensed life coach, peer advocate. I do HIV/AIDS facilitator, and I have my KSAT. And right now, I'm just trying to finish my last year to get my degree so I can do social work counseling. I got a small business. I do podcasting myself, and I got Mercs.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
Nice,
that.
Charlie Rock.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go. Um, my name is Yori. You can find me on Instagram at Yoriella. That's YORIELLA _ and on Twitter at Yoriella as well. I am a senior recruiter at a hospital. Um, I've been in the business for maybe 16 years, um, healthcare and non for profit. I am a mother of three amazing children. That is my job that I am unpaid for. Young adults, I want to say.
Facts. That's
Young
true.
adult, the hardest job that we have, but I have my last child graduating from high school next week. Woo hoo.
Woo
Yes.
woo.
Congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Uh-huh.
much. I love to host. I am the hostess with the mostest at my family and friends events. They need to start paying me, and I'm gonna prove it to them after this podcast. And I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
I met Juan maybe 2 months ago at a baby shower, and we connected. So I'm happy to be here.
Nice, nice, nice.
Oh, one more thing. Let me do
Congratulations.
a little shameless plug. My son has a growing apparel business. It's called Almost Normal NYC. You can check him out on Instagram. Thank you,
Copy.
guys.
Last
Okay.
but not least, we have Dave.
Yes, my name is David. Originally born and raised in New York City, but now I live in the Mayberry areas of Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really not on any social media. Just stay with family and friends. Very limited circle. For my job, I work for a really, really prestigious state company called Greater Omaha. It's been around for over 130 years.
Wow.
I'm dock supervisor there. I do. There's a church here. Well, you guys heard of Salvation Army. So I
Yes.
volunteer for the Salvation Army for about 7 years now. I do basketball programming for underprivileged teens. Um, Outside of that, I work and I just try to be a decent family man.
Thank
Wow.
you for that.
Amazing.
Appreciate that. For those who don't know me, I am Lawan Gabadon. You can find me on Instagram at I_am_L on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook, Lawan Gabadon. I'm doing this podcast thing, and I'm also make beats. You can check out some of my stuff on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, on all major platforms. So check that out. Um, Before we get into today's topics, I just want to say thank you for everyone being here. I just want everyone to, allowed to speak at one time, respect everybody's energy, respect everybody's opinions, one mic, and that's what we're gonna do. So
Okay.
Charlie came up with one of the topics. I'm gonna let him introduce the topic.
Yeah, being that it's Father's Day weekend, right? And me and Dave, Mr. Aquarius, was having a conversation about fathers, and what we go through as fathers. I just feel that it was a good time in Father's Day, pre-discussions, and maybe we can just, have some dialogue, you know, maybe create something here. I don't know. I
Okay.
know we all got an opinions on how things go when it comes to parenting. So I'm a, oh, and I'm an opportunist. So You know,
Okay.
I'm an opportunist in concept sales. So I figure it's Father's Day, pre-Father's Day discussion. Let's get it in.
That's good. So I don't know if anybody. It looks like everybody's probably older than me. I'm 30. I'm 32. I don't know if Ken is probably older than me or not, but or anyone else. But being the fact that guys are older than me, I wanted to know, has the parenting changed outside now from how y'all was raising children to now?
Oh
I want to know,
Lord.
the difference.
Uh
How has that affected the community out here?
uh there's a 1-800 child abuse number now. That's how it affected the community. 90%, well, I believe, because I'm 48, so I'm two generations behind this weird generation now. I finally understand what my parents said or was saying to me when I was younger. I didn't get it until now. But yeah, these kids have no respect. Uh, I think discipline has been changed in the house because of law changes. And I mean, you definitely have to change with the times. I totally get that. But, some of the kids that I see are so disrespectful to themselves and their parents. Like, I just believe at this point it's out of control, but it definitely starts at the home first. So, what do parents do at this time when they have these ambitious children, that just want to see it their way and no other way? It's hard. And I didn't mention this, I'm a father of four, all boys. So, yeah, the hard road, I've definitely went down it.
Anybody want to pitch in on that?
I'll pitch in. Parenting, uh, Father's Day weekend, huh? I definitely think it starts at home. It starts with structure. Of course, it's completely different from when we were raised, and you don't necessarily have to be a parent to see the difference in our adolescence. Um, so he mentioned there was a 1-800 number for child abuse now. Well, there's always been some form of something for child abuse. And I'm 44, so in my age back bracket, it was BCW when I was coming up,
Yes, yes.
Yes.
and 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 now it's ACS, so it's the Administration of Children's Services. Uh, they have so many broken homes, broken families, kids ending up in foster care, kids growing up, by the gang. I think it's hard. Like I mentioned, my last child, he's 17-year-old black boy,
Mm,
he's probably more sheltered than I would like him to be, but I also would like him to be safe, you know. Um, he goes through his teenage, tantrums and rants, but for the most part, he's a decent kid, and I like to think even a lot of his friends are decent, kids, especially the boys. You have to hold on to your kids tight, you know. You have to let them know that they're loved. You have to be present. Um, whether you're a single mom or a two-parent household or a single dad, you definitely have to be present. You have to know what's going on in their world. You have to listen, which is not always easy.
Anybody else want to chip in? I know she just got disconnect.
So, yeah,
Oh, there you
that's
go. Go
my,
ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. My daughter is calling me. So it's just, I mean, it's interesting. I see the disrespect. I see the kids that are going through it. I see, things that mortify me. But I always try to think there's a glimpse of something good in everyone. So that's just my opinion.
Um, I would like to chime in. Um, I got six daughters. That's a lot of different personalities, and my family have more women than men, and they are all strong, opinionated. So
One of those, my sister.
Man.
And just, it could be difficult when they don't understand. You know, before I changed my life, I was in the streets a long time. So I know the horrors that's out there. I know I know what could happen. And I believe that's why I'm so rough on her, because I know. And it's a tussle, because these days, one of the things that I believe that that these kids lack is the parents have no connection with them. And I wouldn't say the internet or anything plays a part in it, but they got more power in their hand right now than we ever had. A cell phone is dangerous than a gun right now, especially when trying to parent kids. And like I heard, Yari said that her son is sheltered. At one time we used to be able to say that, but even if you put him in a room, if he has a cell phone, you just have to trust your kid these days and know that you instilled some good things in them, because even sending them to their room is not even considered punishment anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and we have to stay acquainted. I believe that a lot of the times that these parents is not acquainted. You have to get. I have this thing that I say, community restoration. And when I say, I made that phrase up, restoration, because we have to rebuild everything. Like, your kids is growing every day. They're a lot faster than we were, and sometimes we get so busy that we're not paying attention. It's just too much stuff to pay attention to. And sometimes people don't want to admit that. People say, "Oh, I know my kid," but you don't know what your kid do when he leaves the house. And that's when the trust starts. That's when the qualities and everything else you instilled in them begins, because they can be whatever you want them to be in front of you. I know that firsthand, because I had a situation with my daughter, right? And I'm just saying that sometimes parents get a bad rep for things that they have no control over, and parenting don't come with a book. It don't come with instructions. Sometimes we listening to those around us. We never understood when it says it takes a community to raise a kid. I never understood that. But that's important. You know, when your kid is out there, you like to know that someone, your neighbors or your friends and your families is watching your kids when you're not there. That's the community. That right there is the village. But one of the problems that we have, and one of the things that I believe has changed, is that kids are having kids. So now the problem is that a lot of the parents is like almost 10 years older than the kid. You understand? So a kid can't raise a kid. And what happens is, when you have a situation where there's a lack of communication, they're not in school, they haven't made the effort to even go back, you know and then we have so many other things that play a part in it, you know so when we're dealing with this situation, and we say we don't know what to do, you have to be honest as a parent, that when the situations get rough, that you have to admit that you don't know what to do, because you lose your kid's life like that if you don't ask for help. Most people don't want to ask for help, and these kids are a lot violent than we were when we was coming up. Their attention span is really, really short. I mean, you may feel like, damn, I gotta keep repeating the same thing, but yes, you have to keep repeating it, because sometimes as soon as you tell them it, they forgot. So we just gotta, really work on adjustments, and try to do, like you said, the hardest thing in the world is to listen, especially when you think that you know more than your kid. So you don't really want to listen. You just want them to do what you say. And at this point, I believe if you don't listen, you lose them.
Hmm.
That's
That
just
Um,
was
my
deep.
opinion.
That was deep.
can it was? Can I chime in?
Yes, please, Ken. We're waiting for you. You're the last one.
Really, I just where Harlem Night said when he was talking about parents having a connection with their kids, and it's so crazy because I was just having this conversation with my cousin. Growing up, for most of my childhood, I grew up in a two-parent home, and my father was always there, and my father was super duper active. It was my sister and I. He was super duper active in our lives. Um, I played tennis. My sister used to swim competitively. I played tennis competitively. My sister used to ride horses. Every weekend he would take us bike riding. We had no time to be doing things that we were not supposed to be doing. And honestly, like
Hmm.
I'm not. I think I was having this conversation with Yuri the other day. If it wasn't Yuri, it was another one of my friends. Growing up, like I wasn't even allowed to have dolls because my father didn't want me to think that it was okay to have a maternal instinct at such a young age. Like if I got a doll for Christmas or anything, my father would literally throw it in the garbage. I had to beg him for a
Hmm.
Cabbage Patch doll, when Cabbage Patch Kids were, popular back in the day. But my father was super active in our lives, and I think that is the disconnect. Like Harlem and I was saying, that's the disconnect. If you are not spending time, with your child, you kind of, from what I'm seeing, is like you kind of losing them. And it's not always the parent fault. Sometimes a single mother or a single dad, you're working two jobs, you're working two or three jobs, just trying to make ends meet. You know what I mean? So you may not have the time, but I honestly think like that connection is so important. And these kids, it is, they don't have that connection. You know how many times I've seen just, either walking down the street or you out and about and a kid is with their parent and the parent is in their phone and the kid is in their phone too.
Hmm.
So it's like they're not even taking that time to connect when they're spending what is supposed to be time together because there are so many other, distractions or whatever the case is. So, I definitely like that when he was talking about like, parents connecting with their kids is just, I think that's super important.
That was
Appreciate
deep.
appreciate that. Another thing I want to ask is, what can we do to fix it? What can we do to help our children better themselves out here?
Beat them. No, I'm just
Um,
kidding.
I'm
Beat 'em.
sorry. Go ahead.
Everybody jump in.
Um, for to step in for a second, I just believe, when I look at these last 16 months, right? COVID is a real bad thing that happened. We lost so many people, friends, families, people lost their jobs. But on the upside of it, it's a reset. It's a reality check. The things that we take for granted. People spent more time with their significant others and their kids in the last 16 to 18 months than they have in the last 10 years. And it's sad because they say domestic violence went up, alcohol, use went up. You know what I mean? A lot of different things went up, but it was a reality check, you know, because now you sit in your house with your kid and those are those hard conversations, you know, and one of the things that happen is that you see a part of your kid that you don't actually see because now everything that your kids do is happening in the house. You know, the house is supposed to be where they come to distress, right after school or whatever. They come home and they wind down, and but now you have everything right here. The house has become they everything, right? And you actually get to hear and see some of the things that you probably wouldn't have never seen, because now that they on their phones more, so they having certain conversations. You know, it's hard not to hear the conversations if you're in the house together. You know, so you get to question certain things. You know, that was just a growing moment. You know, some people take advantage of it, some people don't. You know, some people find that maybe their situations was a lot worse than they thought. You know, but it's a reality check. You get to look at it, and at that moment is a learning. It's a learning period right there. You know, we can look at it for what it is. You know, we can say, "Oh man, this happened," but right then and there, you had your kid. You know, you wanted your kid out of the street. You got your kid out of the street. That was just a time to get to know your kid. You know, some people some people was home because they didn't have a job. You know, sadly, you understand. You know, you may have found out that your family situation is not really a family situation. So you know, it's a lot of things that happen. But I just believe right at that moment, you get to learn a lot of things about your kid, because right then that's all y'all have. You know, that's it. That's all I wanted to say for that.
I know you wanted to say something, Dave.
Yeah, just just the way parents are today to the way I seen like my friends' parents. You know, back then, you were allowed to chastise your neighbor's kid if you see them doing wrong. You know, you were we were a community back then. I think these cell phones and all this tech stuff that we didn't have as children, I think that's what separated us. Because as young lady said, everybody's face is into the phone. So any information that you want to know, you want to learn, you want to hear, it's all in the phone. Even Ratchet TV is in the phone. So if you have everything and it's portable with you, you're not going to pay attention to anything. You know, like she said, mothers and children they walk across the street without even paying attention because they're into their phone. I think that technology, as it grows, I think we become more separate in the home if the parents don't want to be the cool parent. You know, no parent wants to be the bad guy. So we all try to adjust to what our kids like and what make our kids comfortable. And I think that's majority of the problem. Like I said, I have all boys, so that's all I had was testosterone around me. I haven't had the estrogen, so I don't know the difference. I just know men are more aggressive. I believe they're more secretive when they're adolescents, and it's a little harder, I think, for you to keep a tab on a young man that's actually getting out into the world, like he's finally getting into girls, fashion, and your kids change over time, so it's hard to change with them when you don't want to be the police parent. So I'm a single dad. So the way I look at my kids, everybody look at me as me being too strict. No, there's a difference between being strict and demanding respect. So I'm considered not the cool parent, I guess, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, so I don't allow my kids to do it around me, even though they're grown. You can drink and smoke all you like, just do it over there. You're not gonna come to my house. But I'm considered the military parent. But that's just the era that I was raised in. Can any of you think any time that you would smoke with your parents or around your parents? No, that's a
No,
question.
not at
I'm
all.
literally
I think
asking.
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's unacceptable.
So, it just depends on, but society has changed so much, and I think it's more in your face because of these cell phones. So I think just us as a people, not just single mothers and single fathers, just us as a people, it's we're we don't have our own opinions anymore. Like it's given to us, through social media and society and friends and whatsoever. I'm pretty sure it was like that when we were younger, but it wasn't as broad as it is now. So I remember going to school, kids used to talk about, me because I didn't have the updated shoes. That's a little different now. These kids are talking about guns that they carry to school, and I don't remember no guns when I was in school. I was in school in the 80s and the 90s. I don't remember guns. Where are all these kids getting all these guns from and access to them because of these phones? We used to go in the park and play, and our alarm on our cell phone was when that street light came on. Have your ass in the house. That was respect. So we didn't have to listen to anybody calling us or texting us. We knew right then and there when that light come on what we needed to do. These kids don't have that. They'll text you. They're like, "Hey, mom, I'm on my way," or "I'm running late." Or we didn't have that. So I think that's the gap in between the parenting from back then to now. I mean, it's hard to get around it, but I just believe the more people you have involved in your children's lives, as a respect level, I believe you'll have more control over what the situation is and what negative things they're allowed to get into and not allowed to get into, or at least afraid to be involved in it. I don't know. I just think it's hard, and I'm gonna tell you, I grew up in the big city, and raising them in the country out in the Midwest and the sticks where I am, there's no difference. They will find something to
Yeah.
get themselves into that is going to cause a problem. It doesn't matter where you are. So I think that community raising a child, I really believe in that.
Any of you
That's
ladies
where I
care
have
to
it.
chime in?
No, I mean, I think we hit on the basic points. I don't want to get into a somber mood because it's a scary situation.
Yes, it is.
So you just have to pay attention to your kids and love on them. I don't think that we can do anything about the social media currently. I mean, yeah, of course, when your kids are young, they don't have to be 5 years old on TikTok or whatever, but I think it's hard to curb it. But I think if you live in your reality and your kids know what reality is because you're showing them, um, then you're going to create some type of path of wellness for them. But yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, it's a tricky situation. It's hard, but just love on your kids and pay attention to them.
Okay, so next,
Well, I
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
well, I definitely wanted to touch on something. I'm not sure if it was Candace or you, Yuri, that said that your dad
Hmm.
didn't allow you to play with dolls at a young age.
Yeah, no, that
That
was
right
Yeah,
me.
it was
there.
Candice. It was Candice.
Oh, listen, that right there, you could have sat me down with a feather with that. That was ridiculously deep.
Deep, deep, deep.
That was deep.
You said that was deep.
Not to have, yes, that was deep. Not to teach your children how to have a parental instinct to allow them to be children. Wow, I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah, yo, I was
Oh,
thinking the
seriously.
same thing. You
Yeah,
know,
I've never heard that.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right? Because and you know why I found that so interesting, and it makes a lot of sense to me, right? I believe that when you're raising your kids, right? Sometimes we do things that affects them later, but we don't realize at the moment.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said we don't real. I said why I found that so.
Hello.
We
We're
didn't even
getting
hear
some
Hello?
good.
feedback.
Yeah, we can hear. I don't know where
Who's
that's
getting
coming
the
from.
shape up? Who's getting the shape up?
I know that was my phone.
Can y'all hear me?
We can
Yeah.
Yeah.
hear you. It's just
You in a
there's a
barbershop?
staticky sound in the
No, that was my cell
background.
phone vibrating.
Who got a vibrator?
No,
She say you got a vibrator.
no, that was my cell phone on vibrate.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh.
it's still ringing.
What? I'm not ringing
Sure,
at all on my
it
phone.
sure
Not,
is.
yeah, it's not ringing. I'm not ringing.
Oh, well,
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I just heard it.
Wow.
all right.
Um,
Like I was saying, right? Let me get back to it. Sorry. But I found it real interesting, right? Because I'm a firm believer of I've watched this happen so many times. Two girls have babies. One is a boy, one is a girl. And as they get older, everybody around them is saying they're gonna make a good couple soon. How do you even fix your mouth to say that? Like, I just don't agree with that because you you putting something in motion, like you programming that. Like that's I'm a firm believer if you practice something long enough, you get good at it, whatever that may be. So when you have two kids and everybody is saying, oh, they're gonna look real good together, that is a recipe for disaster. Hello?
we can hear you. We can hear
We
you.
listening.
Right? I just think that that's a recipe for disaster. And I know, some of us have probably seen it. You know, aunts and uncles have done it. You understand? Have said it. It's it's like a fixed relationship before they even get 15. They didn't already instill that in that situation. So when you say your father said you can't play with dolls because he wants you to have a childhood, I believe that when you start saying certain things, you speak it into existence, and sometimes you create a situation that the kid is not ready for. You know, like I have 6 daughters, right? No father wants to hear their daughter having sex. Like if with fathers, unlike and don't get this wrong, ladies, but unlike women, fathers be like, my daughter gonna be a virgin her whole life. We can't
That's right.
picture our daughters like out there having sex, but I live in a real world. I know my daughter's gonna have sex. I've spoke with her about it, right? Because I have to. What I tell her is boys is born every day, right? And when you're ready, believe me, it's always one waiting. It's always one waiting. Guys live for that. My thing with her is when you decide to take that step, I need you to be emotionally ready for what happens after that. That is a responsibility. Relationships is a responsibility. And I think sometimes when these kids is jumping into it, they don't understand the severity of it. The emotions behind it, them feelings you get. And for girls, it's a lot different than guys. You know, Sometimes they get emotionally attached, and the guys just keep it moving sometimes. Not all guys are like that, but 75% of the guys keep it pushing. And now you forced to deal with an emotion or a feeling that you might not understand. And I understand as parents, that's where we step in and calm for them and we do this. Yeah, but I don't want to be doing that at 16 and 17 and you still live with me and you're not able to take care of yourself and you still haven't done anything that secures a future for yourself. You haven't enjoyed life yet. you know we can say, don't take things too serious, but once you start having sex, it's serious. The other thing is that I discussed with my daughter, that I try to explain to her that I'm just not acceptable about. And a lot of people think that I go too hard. But I'm like, if you're out there and you're having sex and you get pregnant, I don't want to deal with that. These days and times, these guys don't bring too much to the table that these girls is dealing with, nor do they actually have a family. Their family is broke up. And what happens is that daughter brings that baby home to the mother side of the family most of the time. You know, and and that's when the problems start, right? Because now somebody has to watch that kid. It might sound selfish, but I'm not ready to do that. You know, Grandparents is supposed to do weekends, holidays, and vacations. I am not an in-house babysitter. I do not want that responsibility. And some people may think that's harsh, but I'm honest with myself about that. When I got grandkids, I want to do vacations and weekends. I don't want you to be in the next room with your baby in my house. That's not what I want. And I believe that sometimes, kids make mistakes. Well, I'm not going to call it mistake, because if they having sex, it's a lack in judgment, right? We don't deal with it realistically. Sometimes it's become such a normal thing in the household that the grandmother automatically steps in. That's something that's one of the things that really has to change. You know, because I just feel that sometimes as parents we can be enablers. You know, Nobody wants to admit that we can be a crutch. Because help help don't require me taking care of you. That's not help. That's taking care of you. And I think a lot of people don't know the difference in the two. You know, we confuse help with taking care of our loved ones. I don't want to take care of my daughter after she turns 21. I want to be there for her if she needs me, but I don't want that to be an ongoing thing where she always needs me. Then I gotta help her with her kid. Now it's a difference if you know she gets older and she's doing what she needs to do, and then for whatever reason life happens and she needs me to step in. I'm with that. But the mistake that we make is that we give our lives constantly for the wrong reasons. I don't want to give up my life because you made a decision, a selfish decision, because it's selfish, especially when we haven't had a conversation about it, and you think that I'm supposed to obligate myself to that because it's so normal in these households these days, that when you see a parent refusing to raise their kids' children, it looks bad, but I'm the one to say I'm not that guy. And you know, I try to get people to think about that. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you for that. Appreciate all that energy you just said. So, moving to the next topic. I want to get into relationships with you know, I want to talk about relationships. How do you feel about the relationships from back in the days to now? How has it affect today's world and today's society, especially in the African American community, also, because it's a lot different.
Well, you know, nobody haven't speaking, so I guess I'll step in. I believe that one of the dynamics that has changed in relationships is that women are more independent these days. So most of the time, you still have some that's not where they need to be in life, but these women these days is taking care of themselves. They raising their children themselves. You understand? And that takes away some of the power that men have over them versus now than when we was coming up. You know, most women were in the homes, even though they might have went to work, you know, and did whatever they need to do. But most times, it was they still relied on men. These days, these women is going back to school, getting good jobs, and raising their kids. And what happens is the relationship don't work because 90% of the time, the person that they with, they outgrow them. You know, these guys, some of them don't have, they lack motivation. You know, these women is going to school, and the more educated you get, the brighter, the broader your world becomes. You know, and you start to realize that the people you associate with changes also. You know, because them old circles that you used to go into, you can't go into because you realize the conversations is not the same. They can't relate to you. You know, and sometimes what happens with the man in that relationship is that she outgrows him, you know, and that's just real talk because not too many guys are educated. Not too many guys are going back to school. Not too many guys, they, how would they say, what's the word I'm looking for? They settled where they are. You understand? You can't, and then they so stuck in their way. They so stuck in their way, you can't even push them. And that's when the problem starts.
Oh, I thought the problems start when they cheat.
Well,
Uh-oh. There you go,
I thought
well,
that's where
Yolanda.
the problem.
This is what I
We
like.
let's not get deep. Let's not get deep. Let's talk about some surface stuff.
nah. You know,
This is
listen.
what I like.
Men cheat, but let's be real. Like, you know, another thing that come with women being independent is right at
Is
that
cheating
moment
men?
is cheating women too. You know, women are different than what they are, you know, because over the years, you see in some situations role changes. You got guys that's faithful,
Yeah.
but the girl cheat, you know. So,
Girl was forced
you know,
to charm.
you no, I see this is where a healthy debate starts, right? I'm a firm
this,
believer.
this is
Yes,
what I
that's what we're
like.
trying to get at.
This
We
I'm
need.
a firm believer. I'm a firm believer, right? On both
Okay.
sides. On both sides, right?
Well,
Okay.
listen,
I mean,
Right? On
I
on on both
get
sides.
them, Candies, get them together.
Rather,
listen.
I
I'm gonna
believe
play.
that
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute. I just want to touch on, you said, women outgrow men, we going back to work and this, then the third, or whatever the case is. I'm one of them women. Yes, I'm going to make my own money. I'm going to take care of myself. Yes, I can be, I will be okay without a man. But just to play devil's advocate, yes, I am a person. I don't mind if a man leads, but you're just not going to lead me into the ground, sir. That is what you're not going to do. You're not just going to lead me into a brick wall. And if a woman is with a man that is doing that and she's settling for that, then that is on her. And just to make it a little spicy,
Please do.
I
I wasn't trying to get into the man bashing stage so early.
Wait, no, let her finish.
No.
Let her finish, Uncle Charlie.
I just said to you, I just said, listen, I said, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with a man leading. A man is just not going to lead me into a brick wall. And not to bash a woman, and this comes from both sides. Like, I just think that sometimes we fall into a situation where people are I'm not going to say men, I'm going to say people are broken. You get into a relationship where a person is broken and you spend time, you said I'm breaking up.
I was going to say you're bringing in the same energy that happened in the last relationship into now. Basically, what you're saying.
Exactly. You carrying baggage from one relationship into another, or you carrying childhood trauma, into your next relationship. And people are not fixing themselves. You understand what I'm saying? They're jumping into relationships and they're not fixing themselves. And I see that sometimes with men. They jump from women to women. They jump from woman to woman because they can't handle a woman. I don't want to say putting them in their place, but they can't handle a woman, I'll say, like, helping them reach their full potential or holding them accountable. They can't stand to be held accountable. So they jump from woman to woman that's going to put up with their mess. And I don't like it when the woman may be in the same type of situation where she's not going to deal with it from a man. And she's like, you know what, next relationship. But now the woman is looked at as a hoe or a whore because she's not going to deal with what a man is trying to put, the trauma that a man is trying to put her through. But I just think that the basis of that is that people are not fixing themselves first. They're in a relationship and they're broken inside. They're carrying baggage from the previous relationship. So I don't think it has anything to do with somebody going to school or being independent. They're broken.
No, I just I didn't finish my idea. I was just saying, I've seen a lot of different situations, and like I said, I agree with you. I really do agree with you. I was actually giving women a compliment, but you didn't let me finish. But I've seen a lot of different things, right? And some of these things is just generational curses. It's like growing up in the projects, right? Five guys who've been with the same.
Is cheating a generational curse?
No, it's learned behavior.
Yeah,
It's a cycle.
It's a
cycle.
It's learned behavior,
right? But has anybody on here broken the cycle?
They cheating because they cheating as daddies was cheating.
Everybody cheats somewhat, somehow.
Listen,
Juan, are you throwing women in there?
I'm just saying, cheating also ain't sexually. Flirting is also part of cheating.
Yeah, women have tons of work husbands, right?
Get another person time and energy could also be cheating also.
Yeah, and I think cheating, to me, and don't jump on me when I say it, an emotional cheat is worse than a physical cheat.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's still cheating.
It is. Let me tell you something.
It's still cheating.
No, I know.
No, but she's saying the feeling of it.
Yes, an emotional cheat is way worse than a physical cheat. Come on, like no woman wants to hear that their man was spending time and money on the next chick. I'm not saying that you smashed this girl and it's okay. I'm just saying spending time and money, to me, that is worse than a physical cheat.
Or sharing intimate details about your relationship with another woman. You know how the
Exactly.
other woman becomes bitter and then contacts you and say, "Well, he said you did this, and he said
Exactly.
this is."
Has
So that's,
anybody in
I
here
mean,
cheated before?
no, of course not. I mean, not me and Candice, not Candice and
I know
Black
I
women
have.
don't cheat. Black women
I.
don't
Black
cheat.
women don't cheat.
Who told you
Yeah,
that,
they
Tyler
do.
Perry?
They do.
No,
They just
Charlemagne
better
and
at
Little
it than men.
Duval.
They just better at it than men.
Well, because the women do the emotional cheating. That so men may say, "Oh, she got a fatty," or whatever the case may be, and be attracted to her physical. Women, more
Yeah, I don't
so.
know what the heck is going
Uh,
on my end.
you all right,
Hello?
Dave? You
Okay. I
here?
hear one person. I
Well,
only hear
no, it
you,
says,
Yuri.
oh, because it's saying Dave Struther is inviting you to talk together. So
Yeah,
what should I do?
everybody's back.
Okay.
Everybody's
Everybody's
back?
back.
I
Okay.
don't know
Dave, you
what
back?
just happened. Yeah, I'm
Sometimes it
back.
All
would
I don't
right.
do
know
that
what happened.
though, but I'm a
I'm
Okay,
moderator,
that's
so
fine.
I got
Some
this.
glitches
But
in the matrix once we start talking about men
Okay.
cheating.
Oh
Unbelievable.
man,
oh
listen,
God, no,
women
Unbelievable.
women
A
are
male
better
Women.
created this
cheaters
app, right?
than men,
Yes. Yes, that's what I
right?
was getting at. Because a
And
woman is not going to just go sleep with a man. It's going to be something emotional attached to it, a past
Exactly.
lover or someone that always, was trying to get with her,
well, times has
you
changed.
know.
I
Well, what
can
do you
say that.
mean, Juan?
I mean, what you're saying is true, but some women are just sleeping with men without an emotional connection because the nigga look good or he got money or it's
Right.
just part of the
Facts.
trend. A lot of women are selling
yeah,
their
Uh,
bodies. Some people are
is that
having
what's
sex
going
with
on with
people.
these cheaters?
Some people are actually having sex before going on dates.
Facts.
That's true. And some of these
Yeah.
men, some of
It's
these
rough
men,
out here.
some of these men are homeless dating women for a place to stay. How about that?
Facts.
oh,
True story.
Yeah,
True
That's
it
story.
true.
that's
it
for sure.
happens, it happens, but
Well, it's
you know,
happening often because men are not. I mean, it goes back to what you originally said, Charlie. Women
yeah,
are, more ambitious. They're pursuing more, and men are not doing the same legwork. I don't know many men that have their own place. I'm always in awe of a man that does because I think it's important. I think it's important to break the dependency on a woman, right?
Well,
I think men
it's
need to
those
kind
have.
of
fall into the
it's kind
those
of like
fall
that
into
in
the
the animal
carry.
kingdom too, with the
Yeah,
men and women. Like for example, the lions, the female lions are the only people that hunt. The male lion don't do nothing but just takes care of the family and make sure everyone is all right for survival. So that takes a
Right.
lot of part with us too. With a lot of men not having their own place.
Yeah,
you
that's a
Well,
know,
cycle that
I
I
think it
hope
goes
men start to
I think
break.
it goes deeper than that. I think it goes deeper than that.
Go ahead, Dave.
All right, so you got to think, okay, 80% of single parents in America are women.
That's true.
80%. Okay. So you got to think how many programs are they going to put together to help these single women over the 20% of single men?
What
It's
do
a
you mean
lot easier.
programs?
Uh, low income housing,
Okay, okay.
just programs that help single mothers. There's 6 times more programs to help single mothers than there are to help single dads. Now the question is, why is
but
that?
there are definitely more programs to help formerly incarcerated men.
Now this is the thing. Do you have to be incarcerated to get help?
Yes.
They
Yeah,
don't tell.
it's
They don't tell that
funky.
to a woman.
Yeah, it's funky. It's funky, Dave.
Yeah, they
I
don't
don't
tell
think
that to
that
a woman.
I don't think that they think it's a necessity, and it really, really is.
No, it's
Oh,
part of the
it's terrible.
Rehabilitation Act. It's part of the
No, it's not.
Rehabilitation Act, right? Because rehabilitation only works if a person is fucked up. Because you can only rehab something broke. You can't rehab nothing. that don't need rehab. You understand?
Yeah, you're
So
going
No,
back to
and
the formerly incarcerated, but we're just talking about men in general.
in
I mean, I
general,
don't
no,
yes.
think there's
yeah,
a male female ratio of who can apply for low income housing. I don't think, you don't have to be female. I just don't think
No, no,
that
no, no,
men
no,
use
no.
those type of resources.
No, men get denied those resources because they're single men. They're looked at as always a provider. You're a man, your legs work, your arms work, you can go and get a job.
That's
Right.
facts.
No, I,
That's
I, I
how we're
definitely get what you're saying.
that's how men are looked at. Now, when it comes to society and men that are leeching off of women, I believe those are weak-minded men. But that's just my belief. Just like they say with the separations in school between white and blacks. There is separation between white and black, but I did sit next to Cameron here, and we both got the same lesson from the teacher. The teacher said one thing, and we both heard it. Now, we both got two different interpretations of what was said. So he went his way, and I went my way. That doesn't mean that they took him and put him in a class of all whites and just gave him the information and separated me and put me with all minorities and gave it to me. No, it's not like that. It all starts in the home. What type of mannerisms that you have, what type of things that your kids pay attention to when they hear certain words. And with with the men that are leeching off of these women, I believe those are the ones that fell through the cracks. Now, how big is this crack? Because it's a lot of guys that do that. It's a lot of guys that do that. And just for me to be in a situation where I'm trying to mentor these young men, I some of the things that they say, I don't understand it. But that wasn't the way I was raised. So like there's a couple of 15-year-olds that comes to my basketball practice. And all I hear them is talking about is, excuse my language, how many bitches he got. Like, nah, this bitch gonna cook for me tonight. Then after that, I'm going over here. This bitch she gonna wash my clothes. You know,
Ooh.
seriously. And
Yeah,
and
no,
these kids are 15 and 16.
yeah, get in
No
there.
ambition, no ambition in life at all,
Yeah,
none
that's
whatsoever.
unfortunate.
But what I did notice is that they don't have the leadership in their lives. So their leadership, they charge it up every night.
Yep,
They
the
charge it up
phone.
every night. Only thing they do is follow what they see other people do that they think is cool. That's all these kids
That's
do.
true.
When a kid is born, his mind is an empty, dry sponge. He knows nothing, but we have the capability of learning. So it just depends on what we're teaching our children and what they're teaching themselves. If a kid is not being taught anything, when he go out in the street, the first thing that's appealing to him, that's the way he's going. And you know what I just described? Hood niggas,
For
Mm.
sure.
quote unquote.
yeah. They first instinct is survive.
It's not even survive, it's to be a part of,
To
to
be
feel
included.
affection.
That's what's
Yes,
important. To
we're all
be
human beings.
included.
We all want to be wanted. And
Yep.
that's where it comes down to the men cheating and the women cheating. Listen, both species cheat, men and women cheat, and I believe equally. Some women are just a lot more discreet than men are. Women don't brag about it, men do. Okay, there's a saying: a man with 100 women is a hero. A woman with 100 men is a zero. How does that work?
Or a ho ho.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but that's how society
Yeah,
looks at it.
but
That's
I
not
think
real
that's
though.
changing. Yeah, I think that
Well,
has
oh,
to
it's definitely
change.
changing. And that's why women are stepping up in power the way Charlie said. That's
Lori
why.
Yeah.
Harvey is
Because,
changing the game.
yeah, women are not falling back into that
Let's go,
criteria
Lord.
and just accepting it anymore. Women are not doing that. So if a woman go out and she smashed 50 guys, how is she different from the guy who smashed 50 girls? It's your mentality. It's the way you carry yourself. Because I've met some thoughts in my life. Now I'm not even gonna hold y'all up.
Okay, Dave.
right?
Well,
Los
well, don't hold us
Tatianas.
up. Don't hold us
It's
up.
how, yeah, it's how you carry yourself. All right, every woman
Drool on
carries
your back,
themselves in a
nasty.
different way. Okay, like this is just an interpretation, please,
They was
ladies.
doing the Dougie.
This is this is not anything set in stone. Please don't take this. This is just who I am. This is what I believe I see. I just had to make that very clear.
Prepare
So
yourself.
yeah, so women, when you get dressed and you dressed up and you're going out, you got your stilettos on, you got your freakum dress on, are you really dressing for the man that you're with or for the women that's going to see you with that man?
Mm.
Wow.
That's a good
That got
question.
quiet real quick.
No, I mean, I'm pondering, gentlemen. Please hold. I mean,
I
I
mean,
think
this
it
is
depends on
Where
how
you're
He's
secure
going,
dressing
you
for the
are in your
women.
relationship. I don't think that I've ever dressed to impress other
a
women. I don't think
female.
that I don't think that I have ever done that. I want to be completely honest with you. I want to
okay.
dress to impress my man so that he don't have to look elsewhere. You know, I don't think that I've ever, maybe subconsciously,
She
because
did it at
I
the
think,
baby shower, y'all.
no,
Yeah,
I
because you
don't.
don't want to be
Stop it.
underdressed.
Stop it,
All
Juan.
right. So,
Yeah, you don't want to be
okay.
underdressed, but I don't think like the females in there. I'm like, oh, kill them. What do you think, Candice? I'm not sure.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. Like it depends on where we're going and
Who's gonna be
what
there?
who's gonna be there and what we're doing. So it's just like, oh, okay, we're gonna go here. Who's gonna be there? Okay, oh, I'll know what to put on. Oh, it's just like, oh, we going here. Oh, these bitches ain't nothing. Let me just throw this on. Like, honestly, like, excuse my language, but that's what that's what it is. Like that is exactly what it is. And I like when we go out and just like I'm dressed up and he's kind of like dressed down a little bit or whatever. Like that's just me personally. Like I kind of like the way that looks. Not that he just looks like he's going to the laundry or anything, but maybe if I just have on like heels and jeans or whatever the case is, and he's just kind of casual, or whatever. I kind of
Blazer,
like that, huh?
like a blazer and stuff, right?
A
No,
blazer, sir.
no,
Yeah.
that's not
Um,
what she's saying. No.
not the blazer. The blazer.
A white
Oh,
tee, white
oh,
tee,
oh.
white
Okay.
tee.
No,
So,
she's saying
all
like
right.
if he got on a more sporty casual, right?
Okay,
And
okay.
she's
That's
exactly.
dressed
me.
up.
That's kind of me.
Yeah,
All
like if
right.
he
So,
has on like exactly like very sporty casual or whatever, and I'm kind of dressed up, or whatever the case is. So I
okay.
just kind of like the way that looks. So, but yeah, I don't know about the blazer.
Well,
So,
Mm-hmm.
No, but Dave,
what I'm
you
these
posed the
receiving.
days that's
question.
Yeah, just what I'm receiving. I'm not pointing the finger. So, was that Candice just now? That
Yeah,
Yes,
that
that
was
the first
was.
Candice.
40? Okay, so you enjoyed the attention of you being with your man, but you're standing out more. Is that what that
Um,
is?
no,
yeah.
Mhm.
I
That's why she want the sporty
Mm,
look.
no,
mm.
because I'm not trying to show him up. I'm definitely not just. I'm not trying to show him up. I don't know. Like, I kind of like the way that look. Okay, case in point, or whatever the case is, and not that I'm just, not to compare because celebrity status or whatever the case is. But when I see Jay Z and Beyonce like on TV or whatever they're dressed up, sometimes like Beyonce will be dressed up and Jay Z will be very simple: jeans, shirt, one watch, one chain. That's it. Like very simple. And I just kind of like the way that looks. You know what I mean? Like
It's
I just like
it's
if I see
aesthetically pleasing.
exactly like I like the way that looks. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like if you're both dressed up and you're going out of, you're going to a wedding or whatever the case is. Yeah, but like I don't know, you're going to dinner or you're going to a function or you're going
I,
just, I just like the way that looks. I don't know. Like I really do. And
no,
it
it's
Okay,
what my mother used to call that representation.
I was about to say
You
that.
are a representation of him. That's just what it is.
Period.
And
Of each other.
and 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 what
You
happened
you
is when you
represent each other
when
when you're a couple.
yeah, and when you with somebody that you can be that way with is even more pleasing. You understand? But the other thing too in relationships is options. Most people cheat because they just got too many options. They think
No,
you
people
understand?
cheat because they want to cheat. Now, don't throw no options in there. We
Period.
all got
Nothing
options.
more, Shelly. There's nothing more.
No,
Either
no.
every
Yeah,
everybody says
I'm
that they're
gonna
lacking
respectfully
something.
disagree a little bit, Candice, because these men are out of control. They don't have to put in any effort with some of these women. The standards are so low that the options do make a difference for these guys.
It's not. I don't think it's standards at this point. I think it's just the in thing to be the side chick.
Yeah,
Like
but when did that
No,
happen? I think it
no.
happened
I
On
cell
when
phone
these
era.
songs started
Love and hip
started
no,
hop.
no.
airing.
Love and hip
No, it's
Let
hop.
me say.
before
There you
Love
go.
and Hip
Can I say
Hop.
this? Can I
Shirley,
say
what
this?
what did Betty Wright? She called Shirley. Who was calling who in the 70s? You know, there's
The
been
clean up woman.
songs. Yes, there's
Clean
been
up
songs.
woman.
Shirley,
Interesting.
this is Loretta. Um, but I think it's it's more visible now. It's horrible. It's so horrible that
It really
there
is out of
it,
control.
it's it's so horrible to even listen to these songs that say you're
Yeah.
my man on the weekend.
Yeah.
She has you Monday through
But
Friday, but I'm gonna have you on the weekend. It's disgusting.
No,
Oh
no,
no,
but
no, no,
God.
you know
no.
what's real?
He
You know
gotta
what's
eat
real?
the groceries. Who is that
Oh.
little girl?
Groceries. What's
She
wrong with
need to be
groceries?
thumped on her forehead.
One. So what's wrong with the grocery?
There's nothing wrong with
I'm
the
just
groceries.
saying.
Yeah, but it
No,
don't
no,
need
no.
to be
I'm
in
I'm
gonna
the
give you a
song.
total meal.
no. How
It
many
did
females came up to you and asked you that, bro?
Plenty of times,
what?
but I don't go
Do
for
you
them.
eat
Oh,
the
I see.
groceries? Females ask that.
Off the rip, like come up to you off the
Definitely.
rip, like you trying to get to know a female. She's like,
Oh
"Yo, I'm
nah,
not messing
not
with you.
not
You
off the
got to eat
rip.
the groceries."
Maybe on a
Oh,
date. If it was a date, then yeah, but I don't think off the rip. Maybe once in a blue off the rip.
Yeah, but
Like
you
I go to a
know,
Mm.
corner store, he got big lips. He eat ass, stuff like that.
Good lord.
That's what I hear.
That would
That's
that
what
I don't know. That would turn me off, dude. You
girls
know
are
that
bold
yeah,
would
in
but
that
not
it's
look
game.
not
like
turning. It's not. So if you're seeking attention, remember we're talking about the internet. We're talking about social media. We're talking about a
yeah.
time. Even our age group, guys, there it's attention seeking time for likes, for whatever the case may be.
Seriously.
You can have a relationship and you can end up in the hotel without ever shaking hands right now. You
Facts. Never
understand?
seeing it face to face.
Without staring in someone's eyeballs to see if you even like them. I have
Hey,
a
hey,
guy, yeah, I have a guy that I correspond with. We have never met each other, but I had to put him in his place. Like, what? Like he said something slick in the DM. I was like, we've never even laid eyeballs on each other. Like you'll never see me. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it gets so intimate sometimes, or so convoluted. I don't even know if it's intimate, that people think that they have relationships that they really do
Exactly.
not
no,
have. There's no
no. It
That's
is.
substance.
the key word. They
It,
think it.
wait a minute. No, no. We're gonna correct that. I'm gonna stop y'all right now. It is
Oh, we
intimate.
are?
Yeah, you know what? You know why, y'all? You know why I'm gonna stop y'all? Because it is intimate. Because anytime you spending that much time with someone, even if you haven't seen them, you develop feelings. And it may sound stupid. It may sound crazy. But like you've been talking to this person for 3 months and one day you call and he don't answer.
Now
You're
the
gonna feel
question
some
is,
kind of
Shelly.
way.
then he got to
No,
get
no,
cut
no.
off.
No, no, no. It's not that.
No, no,
It's
no.
not
I'm
that.
not
So
referring to. I'm just saying, when
No,
I don't think that
but
this person would say, "Hey, can we meet? Can we go out on a date?" I don't think that they're required to do so at this
no,
point.
not these days. No.
Yeah, no. It, it,
you
it,
understand
Not
it's
at these
the
days they don't.
the
it's
other
it's
sad part is
amazing.
Laywan, remember that? Remember in our last part, remember I said it's sad because you could be laying next to somebody and don't even know their favorite color. because
Right.
you never even got to.
Exactly. And that's scary to me because
You
But
never
that's
even
what's
no,
got to
happening
sit down
now,
with the
guys.
person.
the
That's
question
exactly what's happening
always
now.
falls back on the individual. Like you guys said, love and hip hop, rap videos, songs, we all listen to it, we all hear what they say, we all see what they do. How did you get in that same position?
Because they look like they was winning, so they positioned themselves there. Let me tell you something,
No,
Dave. You
you
know what I
allowed
heard a long
yourself.
time ago? You know what I heard a long time ago, Dave? Remember, you just said not too long ago that some of these girls is cool with being the side chick. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, you know what somebody said to me a long time ago?
What they said to you a long time ago?
I am crying right now, Candice.
No, no, listen. You know what she said? She said,
Nah, my bad.
I'd rather be the side chick and let that other girl be stressed out
Stress
about
him
me.
out. Yeah, that's a whole nother stupid shit. Oh
When I
God.
heard that, I could not believe it. I said, is you serious? He say, listen, I'd rather it be her than me.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's still for me, that's a form of settling. And when you have
That's
the settle
exactly what that is.
mentality, we're not gonna prosper as a people. You know, what's
Yeah,
not
but you know,
solid, at least before it used to be discreet, right? Cheating was discreet, you know, if Mr. Lindsay showed up to my mom's house after service, it was some type of form of, it was discreet. Now it's just blatant and it's horrible. It's
yeah,
horrible.
it's it's the
So it
same
just
thing. If you put something in it, you know, I met this guy when I was incarcerated. I met this guy. He was a counselor. He said, whatever you put in the air, you get back, right? Now, for the
Mm-hmm.
last 10
no,
years, you've been putting it in the air. It's okay
I,
to live the way you live it. Now, what
I
happens
disagree
is
with that.
you you got a whole generation that just has no idea of what a real relationship is. Think about it. Their mother and father ain't together.
Yep.
You know, and let me tell you, in one of my behavioral science classes, we did a survey, right? We did a study, I'm gonna say. And in that study, we had a list of things that we asked people. One of them was, how many people in here got their high school diploma? A few of them. How many people in here got their GED? Because it's a difference. A few of them. How many people in here don't have neither? It was a lot of them, right? Then the other question was, how many people in here grew up in the house with both parents? It was one girl. The other question is, how many people in there, right, drink and smoke? You know, it was a lot, but that one girl was still by herself, right? When they asked, how many of y'all are in college or have completed college, that one girl was by herself out of almost 25 people. And you know what was so sad about that? Because at 25, working, graduating from high school, have your own place and no kids, she's already succeeding, right? But she found herself with nothing in common with those people. Now, when you have all of those people in that one corner, it's just a disaster. You know, and that's the reality, and that's with everything: relationships, careers, education. That's just with everything. And until we can get past that, we just it's just gonna keep being passed on to the next generation. You know, some things, some things that we say, you know, people say, "Oh, I just said that because." The sad part is when you say something, there's always somebody listening. Now, as
Now,
we
is it
stated,
though?
no, but we stated earlier, perception is key. You don't know how a person is going to perceive it. You just don't know. And when you listening to these rap music, and that's why guns is so out of control, because they just think that it's okay to shoot a person. Because the first thing they say is they talk about the business gun they got. We might, you know, people that grew up in the street versus those that's just listening to it, we understand what that person is talking about, right? And we can relate to it. So we like, oh, okay. But when you got people that's listening to it that don't have no idea of it, but they say, damn, he sold 1 million records talking about that. And then you hear that same nigga went to jail for doing it. It's like a recipe for disaster. And then you got your kids sitting in front of YouTube and everything else all day listening to that. It's like brainwashing them.
That's exactly what it is.
Like when Rick Ross messed up his Adidas deal. What did he say? He said, I put the thing in her
It
drink.
was
She ain't even
Reebok.
know it.
It was Reebok.
Yeah. I put it in her drink. She ain't even know it. He was so fucking stupid, right? Because he didn't realize that everybody
Blatant,
is in jail,
blatantly stupid. You're basically
right?
saying you raped her.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody is popping Molly, so he didn't understand that that was going to be an issue. You understand what I'm saying? It
No,
was just
Charlie.
the next.
No.
No,
It
he
was
should have.
That's the that's
He
the
should have.
ignorance of
no,
him not
Yeah,
no,
no.
and that's
That's
the
the
it
ignorance of him trying to be hip.
exactly, and that's the arrogance of him trying to be hip. He was
Yeah.
ignorant and arrogant.
Listen,
yeah,
you can't say he didn't know, Charlie.
And
They
I
just
like Rick Ross,
crucified
but that was ignorant and arrogant. How dare
they
you?
just crucified one of the most famous black people on the planet for the
Bill
exact
Cosby.
same thing, brother.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
And
tell me he didn't know nothing about Bill Cosby's case? That was worldwide. That was
whether
the
he,
ignorance of him putting that out to try to stay relevant with the
no.
hippers, with the hipsters.
In his mind,
he didn't
it
give
was
a
a
F,
club
he didn't give
scene.
a fuck
Yeah,
in
he
his
didn't care,
mind.
Charlie.
He didn't
You
give a
understand what I'm
fuck.
saying? And that's the thing that gets me. And it's just like I say, it's just this generation. Now they cursing. I'm looking at Chicago PD and they like bitch ass fuck. I'm like, wait a minute. On national TV, this ain't even cable no more because sensation. They sensationalizing everything. Relationships. If you cheating, look, think about it. They came up with reality shows. You got these people that's not even celebrities. Celebrities. They not even celebrities. But reality TV got them looking like heroes. And the sad part is because they getting on there, fucking each other all over the shows, beating each other up, right? Because this is what they promoting. We
That's what
can't even be cordial. We're gonna
that's
beat
what
each
the
other up
lifestyle today calls for.
and
That's the
then we're gonna
culture
fuck each
today.
other men.
Yeah,
And then
that's the
we're
culture
gonna fuck
today.
each other men and girlfriend and then go to jail. Right? Because this is how it looks. So when you think about relationships and you say, damn, they got these motherfuckers making damn near 60,000 a show, personal putting out their relationship, they don't have one. But this is what relationships is. It's like a motherfucker can't even deal with a problem in private because part part of the contract is we have to know everything. So even when they
Well,
having a real issue, they can't even deal with it unless it's being sensationalized because
well,
that's what sells.
no, Charlie, I don't agree with that because that's a business standpoint. If you're gonna pay me to go sleep around with these chicks, I'm knocking them all down. I'm not emotionally attached. I know on Tuesday I'm going to get that check.
No,
So
I'm
that's
just talking about
different.
from the idea of what they promoting,
Yeah, I
regardless to
know.
what it
No,
is.
no, no.
It's
What?
just and like I
No,
said,
what?
it's not the issue is immorally unacceptable. That's what it is.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm not
it
saying
pays
it from
money.
that standpoint. What I'm saying from standpoint is 90% of the population today, they don't even know what self-worth is. You don't,
Ding 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 ding
people
ding
don't treat
ding.
themselves to what they feel they deserve. They treat themselves to a level of what they see. Like you
Yep.
just said, okay, well, if he's doing that and he sold this many records, then I can do the same thing. Now you right there, just by saying that to yourself, you automatically abandoned yourself. You put yourself in the corner and left the room. Because now you're trying to be like him. You're not trying to be like you.
Yeah,
And it
motherfucker
falls
can't even
back.
answer that question. Tell me something about yourself. You know how
Yeah.
many people don't even know what they like?
Oh, I'm in HR. I ask that question all the time, and people
See?
are stumped. And
Yes.
then I have to give them an example, and then after, if it's worth it, I school them. I say you should always be able to describe yourself.
Yeah,
I can't describe you. I can't pull the teeth to describe you.
yeah,
It's unfortunate. I've been in HR for 16 years, and you'd be very surprised that people cannot give a few sentences about themselves
yeah.
without getting personal. You
And
know,
it all falls back to what I was saying about me and Cleophas in the same class, getting the same lesson, but taking different
that's my
standpoints
grandfather's
from it.
name. Believe it or not, Cleophas.
Wow, wow, that was random.
I thought so.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just self-worth. People don't have it anymore because they want to be those ratchet people on TV. So let me ask you a question. Okay, everybody have children here in this group? Does everybody have
Yeah,
children?
I have a daughter.
Okay, so how many of your kids or has anybody children ever came up or have you ever asked your children like what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do?
Mine is
How
4.
many how many said oh well yeah. Well, okay, you're excluded. How
Wait.
many said a doctor or a lawyer?
Well, I know
How
I said
many
a better. I know I said a veterinarian when I was little.
oh but that's what
I
I'm saying. That's the difference between now and then.
Yeah,
Like
I
how
know.
many of
Everybody
them
I
want to
said
be
a
say that?
rappers
lawyer.
and ball players.
Yeah,
See?
I wanted to be a lawyer. It's a
Yeah,
difference.
see?
It's a difference
So
now.
kids today want to be rappers. They want to be web designers for video games. You know, some kids want to be TikTokers and YouTubers. How did
But
they get all of this? Huh?
can I just jump in and say honestly, some of these, okay, we talking about like self-worth and describe yourself, and like some kids want to be TikTokers and YouTube,
Yeah.
and and YouTubers and bloggers and everything. Honestly, it's like I just think that these kids, they glorify the money, and there's nothing bad about some of the things they want to do. Like if they want to be a TikToker, if they want to be a blogger, a YouTube, a web designer, whatever, it's because they see that's where the money at. I just think the bad aspect of that is like you have a person like Rick Ross per se who is glorifying these things that are just, they're unhealthy, and they're not, they're not good things. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with a child choosing that type
I
of
think
profession,
I just
because that is what's making the money these days.
yeah, I just
No,
think it's the content.
Wait.
no,
Before y'all
that
continue,
wasn't my point. Yeah,
before y'all
that wasn't the
continue,
point that I was trying to make. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't. I didn't think that was your point either, David.
before y'all
Go
continue,
ahead.
we got a voice note. I'm gonna play it. Somebody send us a message.
Okay.
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 I actually sit down with my son and we watch a lot of documentaries, mainly nature documentaries. And he wants to go to school to study gorillas, and I'm all for it. He also is in the kitchen with me a lot, so he also wants to be a chef.
I
Mm.
think
Mm,
that's dope, Miss Pacheco. I think that's dope, right? It takes us back to our first point in this conversation, how you have to
Yeah,
guide your
quality
children.
time.
You have to. My son, 17 years old, he can cook a three-course meal if you needed him to. He can wash his own
mm-hmm.
clothes. It starts there. So, I'm not saying that we're sitting here watching Nat Geo, but we do have lounge time. We watch movies together, all of those things. It has to start. You have to give your time to your kids. You
Okay,
have
now
to.
that was the point I was trying to make when I said YouTubers and not doctors. Because how many of you actually sit down and watch YouTube with your kids or TikTok? So they only get one side of that story. They get the illusion side. There's people that's making money TikTok and YouTube, but it's a handful. It's a very small group. And these kids are not being taught that. So they have the illusion in their mind that okay, I'm gonna make this TikTok thing and now I'm going to get a Ferrari just like him.
But
But they're
what's the
not telling him
difference?
Parents gotta invest in that too with them too. Your kids just want to be a
Yeah,
exactly
but
like
what?
the
gotta
young
invest in
lady
that
just
too.
said about him wanting to study gorillas is because she spent the time with him and watched the documentary. So his interest is being there's a guide for his interest.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's the
So when you're
difference from the young guy that wants to be a basketball player? Because we know that maybe 1% of the population, maybe less than that, are going to end up
yeah,
in the NBA. So what's the
okay,
difference from me aspiring to be a YouTube or TikTok sensation as opposed to me ending up in the NBA or the NFL?
I
What,
don't.
okay, because I'm gonna break it down now.
go ahead.
Number one, to be a basketball player, you have to be taught. It is physical attributes, definitely. That doesn't have to be taught. That's a natural gift. Your IQ has to be raised. You have to know what spots to go, where to be, and certain movements of a defender or a different player. So that means you're not alone. Someone has to teach you that. When you flipping TikTok, you're there by yourself. The only advice you get is the weird guy that pops up and tell you you've been watching too long to go get something to eat.
No, you are getting guided from other people's video. I'm not, I don't want to make this a back and forth, but I'm just saying, what
Yeah.
do they have to hold on to anymore if they're stuck in the phone? It's crazy.
No, that's exactly my point. That's what I'm saying. So basketball, like when you're in high school and you're the starter team or whatever, you cannot play in any games, big or small, recruiters or not, if your grade average is below a certain number. What's holding you accountable to be a TikToker? You already got the device in your hand. All you got to do is download the app and turn it on and start recording yourself. Nobody's telling you anything about infringement and copywriting. Nobody's telling you about any of the bad side of it. So that's what I mean when I say kids are there. There's an illusion of what you can do when it comes to these videos, and I'm not saying that people can't do it, but nobody is. I don't sit down and watch TikTok with my kids.
Yeah,
I don't.
I
I don't
don't
do it.
I don't either.
Before we
That's what I'm saying.
continue,
So
we got
just
another
to have
person.
the inspiration. Okay, go ahead.
I refuse to watch YouTube. I refuse to watch TikTok with them because I feel like that's not something that they should be interested in. Um, I tend to tell them that there's so much outside of the hood and so much outside of the
Mm.
phone that you can miss.
That's great.
Now that was powerful.
That was
Do you
powerful.
know how many hood guys
Wow.
and girls have not left their borough or let
I was,
alone the city?
I swear I was getting ready to say that. You must have read you stole my shit.
Well, go ahead.
Mm,
No,
mm, mm.
I was about to say that. I was about to say so many people. I know people. I grew up in St. Nick projects. I know people that has never left there. It bugs me out. I grew up in Astoria, Queens, right? I go to Astoria, Queens, they still there.
Same people. Yep. You ain't lying, Charlie.
And when you be like, yo, come to Manhattan, I got sense, they be like, nah, I can't do it. You can't do it. You 50. What do you mean you can't do it? Or you won't do it? But you know, sometimes we be stuck in something for so long to do anything outside of that is uncomfortable. It's
It's a
it's it's
fear.
it's at a it's at our element. Yeah, it's you understand what I'm saying? And one of the things, like I had a life before this one, and I never traveled. I had all the money in the world, never traveled. Now that I changed my life around, I got my daughters, and I'm traveling. Now I've left the borough, but for a lot of different reasons. But the thing is I'm enjoying myself more now than I did when I had all the money in the world. You
Mhm.
know, and that just comes with growth. But that also comes with people that tell you things like, if you're not where you want to be in your life, look at the closest people around you. And and if you decide that that's not what you want to be or do, you got to find you some new people. These are the things that people that I've had guys tell me. You know, I got my guys that I grew up with that I love to death. But
He must have got a
Hello?
phone call. He must have got a phone
Yeah,
call real quick. So Yori, you was going to say something before? I know he just got disconnected. He'll probably be right back. But Yori.
yeah, he's reconnecting.
No. I lost my train of thought because I was all in engulfed in Charlie.
Yeah. Hmm. Well,
Go ahead, Dave.
the thing I'm was that you, Yuri, that said how people are they isolate themselves and don't travel and don't. Oh no, that was
Yeah,
a voice thing. That right there is I'm the epitome of that. As I'm gonna tell you, when I was in New York, I had a decent name for playing basketball, and nobody in the world couldn't tell me I wasn't
Sorry,
going pro.
that was my daughter. She was doing something for me. But like I was saying, right now, the friends that I got now, I'm just doing different things. I'm in a better place and I'm happy. But we have to grow and sometimes people get stagnated. And that just comes with with finding things that you want. And you know what I tell people, and I tell my daughter, you don't have to want what I want, just want something.
right.
Mm,
Just want something.
mm,
Aspire for something because at the end of the day, you have to cut the cord, right? They have to go
definitely.
out
Yes.
on they have to go out on their own, and you have to trust that what you've instilled, in your people is going to, show up in some shape, fashion, or form. And our kids have to experience life, right? I tell my kids all the time. I'm so real. Just the way that I'm speaking to you, I speak to my kids because life is hard and life is real,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
This
it
is what
is.
it is. This is what it is. I feel like if they deal in integrity and morally, then they'll come out on the better end. But I won't, weapons will form. Hopefully they will not prosper. But you have to keep it real, just and with your kids and relationships. You want a partner that you can come home to and decompress, right? Because life is hard. Jobs are hard. Bosses are
Yeah.
assholes. Kids get on your damn nerves,
Mhm.
Everything's expensive, you know. You just have to have your person. You have to have your person, and you have to keep it real. It's hard out here with you men having so many options, though. From a
Good
single
Lord.
woman. From a single woman.
Good
Let's get
Lord.
back on that.
No,
Good
no, Yuri, I like
Lord.
that. You said you have to have.
Yes.
You have to have your person. Like that's a good statement. Like you have to have your person. You have to.
Mm.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So we're going to skip to the next topic right now. We're still going to stick into the relationship thing, but I want to know what can we do to be able to work with each other as a whole. There's a lot of negativity going around that black women and African American women can't work with each other. For example, I mean, y'all people might know about this person named Kevin Samuels. He talks about it a lot. So, what do y'all feel about that? What goes through your
Mm.
mind?
How do we feel about
I
Kevin
believe
Samuels?
no,
We
no,
could get to
no,
that
no, no,
too.
no, no. Good Lord.
We could
I'm
get to
he,
that too. So after that question, we
Lordy,
could
Lord,
definitely
Lord,
get
Lord.
into.
Lord, get a black woman heated from zero
So
to.
let's get into that. How do y'all feel about this man? I don't know if anyone
Lawan,
knows
you are
about this
bringing the
person.
cayenne pepper.
Wait. I should have invited more women, child.
Oh,
Um,
no, you shouldn't.
How do
I
Good
y'all
don't
Lord.
feel
follow.
about Kevin Samuels?
I'm gonna let Candice do the majority of this. I don't follow Kevin Samuels. I mean, of course, people have DM me snippets of him. I was, I was turned off a bit because I don't like to put women in a space where they don't think that they can succeed, especially black women or, and with there being so many average men, why are we putting average women on display? So, You know, you top notch. I don't know if I'm gonna find a millionaire, right? In reality, I just want somebody to match my salary and let's go half on a house. But go ahead, Candice, because I know you're more in tune with Kevin.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm gonna be honest, like honestly and truthfully, regarding Kevin Samuels, people think that he puts down black women, he's disrespectful to black women. Honestly, and I know I would probably get a lot of slack for this. I'm not gonna say that I like Kevin Samuels. I honestly think that it's just his delivery of the message, because some things,
Brutally honest.
huh?
He's just brutally honest
Right. I do think that
with
Kevin
his
Samuels
opinions.
is just brutally honest. Like, and he goes at men too. Like, he doesn't get on women, he gets on men as well. But the flip side to that, to me, is like, these women call into his show, and to me, once you call his show, like, you lost. Like, you lost, because now you're subjecting yourselves and you're looking for validation from Kevin. He says, oh, Beyonce is an 8, Kelly Rowland is a 9, and I think he said Rihanna is a 10 or something like that, or whatever, however he, rates his women, or whatever the case is. So, I think women are calling in because they want to be the one that he says, oh, okay, you're an 8, you're a 9. Like, they want to be in that category of an 8 or a 9 with him, because they're looking for that validation. I honestly think that. And to me, it's just like, you know what he's about. Why are you calling his show? You know what he's about. You know what he's about. So once you call him, it's like you already lost. Like, you already lost. When you don't look for ways to better yourself, and you look to call into Kevin's show to validate yourself, like, sis, like, you lost. Like, you lost. And now you're mad because he tells you, like, oh, okay, you're 22 with 4 kids. You're on public assistance, but you're looking for a millionaire. Honey, a millionaire is not looking for you. And now you're mad. But it's kind of like, okay, like, get yourself together first before you go finding something in a man that you can't even provide for yourself.
Facts. And it's just his opinion.
Right.
The other thing about that,
like I said, they're just mad at the way he says it, because if Daquan, from 120 whatever street says the same thing to you, it'll be, oh, shut up, Daquan. But Kevin Samuels, he says it on his platform, and it's just like, oh, he's disrespectful to women.
Exactly.
I mean, it's true that what you say, you've already lost, because once you start comparing, it's gonna go downhill from there.
You're
right?
gone. Yep. You're gone.
But for me, there are men in my life that are important to me, that have sent me different snippets of Kevin Samuel, and they're in agreement with him and his delivery, but they're also not top tier, like he speaks of. So I don't want medium tier and lower tier to get shit confused by listening to Kevin Samuels, right? He should have a top tier clientele that they pay him for a subscription, because I don't need Ray Ray, who I didn't help get a GED and get an entry level job, to be my man, to think that he's above me. I don't require that. So I think when you speak of these tiers and who's what and who's rated as what, everybody needs to categorize themselves first, right? You need to be realistic about who you are as a person. And I think his delivery is off. And I think if you're trying to deliver a message, then you have to be inclusive. And I don't think that he is.
Well, I don't know. I think it's just hard to take someone serious in a show like that, the way people do, if he's just voicing his opinion.
The problem, Dave, I think the problem is, it's not that they taking him serious, it's they challenging him. That's what they do.
No, Charlie, you don't watch him. They be offended,
no,
bro.
I watch Dave. I see Kevin.
Yeah, they call in to be offended, which is absurd.
Yeah, they be offended,
because what
bro.
they want to do is they want to prove that they can that they can out argue him, that they can
Yeah, no,
prove.
no, you're gonna put me to a 10 or whatever the case. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah, right.
no.
And the problem is that they're not realistic with
That's
their
exactly, yeah.
situation. They're not
Hmm.
realistic with their situation, and what happens is he's getting paid off of exploiting they shortcomings.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's exposing their shortcomings, right? Because when they go on there, they're not thinking, well, he's gonna really look at me like that, right? Because in their mind, they beautiful, they this and that. But when he tells you, okay, you pretty, but that's all you are, now they confused. You understand what I'm saying? Because what happens is in today's world, being pretty is getting these girls where they want to be. And you don't even know half of these reality stars got kids.
Yeah.
You see them, they look at their body is done this. You don't even know they got fucking kids because their kids ain't even on the show. But when you see that, you actually in competition with a bunch of women you don't even know. And then you go to his show to try to prove him wrong about some of the shit that he says or the ideas he has about some of the women, right? It's just like you get a girl. Remember, I was explaining the girl at 28 got her own thing, this and that, and you know, she doesn't believe that she's succeeding, right? Because she has nothing in common with everybody else, right? But that's the same girl that can't even really get a man. You know why she can't get a man? Even though she has everything that a man wants, she can't get a man because it's hard to find a man with no kids. Just like it's hard to find a woman with no kids, it's hard to find a man with no kids. You understand what I'm saying? So when you looking at that situation like that, and then you find somebody like her, it gets real ugly. The
I don't
reality of
think
it is
I don't
is
I
is
don't agree
real
with
ugly.
that.
It is real ugly. It is real ugly because you know why? How many men in the world right now is with their kid's mother? Let's be real.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think with the men, I think there's a lot of single men that don't have kids. It just feel like a lot of them are being ignored. You know,
Yeah.
they're not exciting that the person that they're trying to approach. So with that, yeah,
Exactly. Hmm. Wow.
a lot of good men get ignored.
Because of the lifestyles or the lack of. Yeah, that's true.
Dave,
A
I
lot of
don't
good men get
know.
ignored.
I don't know about getting ignored. A lot of good men. Um, I think there are great men out here. I think there are a lot of options, which we spoke about, and there's a lot of distractions. How do I know that you're a good man? Because, I mean, I think we live in a world where people think they can text good morning and fuck you on Thursday after texting you good morning Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like,
I'm gonna answer
where's the
that. Let
where's
me
the
just
effort? There's no effort. There's no
listen,
like
Wow.
there's no
bring it
effort.
up.
There's no let's meet for
Here,
coffee or drink,
I
appetizers,
wanna
whatever. Go
I
ahead,
want to
Candy.
get.
let
No,
me
no,
play
I
this
don't mean
voice
to cut
note
you
real
off.
quick,
I don't
Ken.
mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, but I definitely want to get into that. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Let me hear that. Play this voice note real quick, Ken.
Yeah, play that voice one. Yeah.
What
Let's
happened?
be realistic. I heard you mention Kevin Samuels. The only the only purpose of Kevin Samuels for him, his only objective is to get people to talk about him. That's it. Regardless of what he presents as his message or what he wants to try to do, his only purpose is to get people to talk about him. So he'll say and do whatever is necessary to meet that end. And I guess he's succeeding, right?
Mm, good point.
That's a good point. I mean, I also believe he's also
Who was
dropping
that?
gems too.
Who was that?
That was
Lil Dre.
that was Dre the therapist.
Oh, okay,
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 okay.
okay.
Thanks, Trey.
But I also think he does drop gems and all that.
Definitely. It's just brutal.
Okay,
It's just brutal.
okay. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
sure.
all.
So Juan, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about you. You are 10, 12 years, maybe younger, our junior, right?
Yes.
What are you doing? Right? What are you doing to pursue a healthy relationship with a woman? What are you doing? What things do you have in play that you think
Okay.
will get you to the finish line?
Well, to answer that question, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not actually doing anything right now to pursue anyone because, as of right now, I don't have the qualifications to actually be in a relationships right now. Meaning qualifications, but I mean like I don't have the time to be around with someone, or I just don't have the time right now. There's a lot of shit I'm going on right now with myself that I don't have time to actually make
Okay, but if you
someone
have
really really
three M,
happy.
if you have three DMs offering you sex, you gonna make the time?
Hello?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. 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 That's the issue here. But you're gonna make time to be intimate with someone knowing that you don't have the time mentally.
Right.
And
And
that's
then when she
that's
gets
that's
too
what women are
attached,
being faced with. It's horrible.
yeah.
Yep.
And then when she gets attached, it's just like, oh, but you knew what it was. You knew what this was.
Well, I don't know. I disagree with that.
Okay, tell
I
us
think
why.
I think any relationship, receiving in man or woman, anybody who's trying to get to know someone is always on their best behavior. So this is a sort of advertisement. So the way you advertise yourself to whomever's receiving it is the way they respond. So if somebody responds to you in a manner you don't want, it's your choice to either step aside or continue this. This is where the self-worth comes in, what I was speaking on before.
Yes, and
You you
sorry, go ahead,
you
David.
are
I'm
the
sorry.
person, once they come to you, you have to realize the things that you're going to accept and the things that you're not going to accept.
That's true.
So if that person is getting in their feelings and the other person isn't, I'm pretty sure it's visual, it's apparent somewhere. That's why that person has to validate their feelings because they don't think that person's reciprocating it the way they want them to.
Okay, but Juan has admitted that he doesn't have the time. He's getting his shit together, right?
Right.
Right.
So
But
so
you just
why?
said if somebody was in his DMs.
I know, but why doesn't he say like I can't afford to be intimate with you right now? Hit me. I'm of course it's funny and it's facetious, but you understand what I'm saying?
But is that
Men
real?
I know. But I need it to kind of be real. Like I got too much going on, Ma. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want, because you understand that sex comes with ties no matter what.
Yes,
No
it does.
matter what.
Yes, it
Lust,
Giving up
does.
uh,
energy.
you know, yeah, you exchanging fluids with a person. So I want men to grow so much mentally that they are allowed to say like, I can't do it. Like I want to do it. I want to do you, but it's not the right time. I mean, that's what I hope and pray for.
Dick management.
Okay. Now, this is where you have to be realistic with yourself.
I know, David. I know.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is human nature is different than being conscious about a situation. So when there's intimacy or lust, I should say, the conscious goes out the window. Your
Yeah, but
body is
someone is
calling
gonna.
you. There's
Yeah,
no
but
language.
someone's going to be left hurt
Right.
because
Definitely. But that's
someone.
where it comes to the self worth. Are you willing to put yourself in this situation where this can happen?
I don't think that anybody is posing those questions. I mean, yes, we should be posing those questions, and I think that
Exactly.
these are, yeah, and I think that's where we have to start because I had a whole big to do with a classmate of mine, maybe a month or so ago, and he was adamant that his sixth grade students, the girls, the smart girls, did not want the smart guys in class. They wanted the guy that's going to end up on detention. You understand what I'm saying?
The
And
bad
they
boy.
wanted the bad boy, right? And so if he's seeing it firsthand, still, I'm not in a junior high school. I'm not in high school, but there's so much dissecting that needs to be done because a man and a woman should be able to say, like, it's just not the right time. I'm not, no matter how much my hormones are roaring or how horny I am. And I know it's easier said than done because I was gallivanting this weekend, guys. But what I'm saying is,
Ooh.
Preach it to the choir.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yo, don't drink this Hennessy, but I'm gonna take a sip right in front of you.
Listen, I don't drink dark, so what I'm saying is it's so hard. I'm maybe the pot, I may be the kettle, but it's really really hard, guys. It's hard.
This is the issue that I have, right? I know someone, I've known them for a long time, and I always had, and we're very cool. And it was the issue that I have is I just heard him say on so many occasions, like, "Oh, I'm not dating no woman. I'm not taking no woman out. I'm not spending no woman. I mean, I'm not spending any money on a woman to get to know you because you got Joe over here trying to get your attention, spending money on you. You got Drew over here doing it, and I'm not gonna be one of those people." He was like, and in one specific conversation, he's like, "Oh, if you want to get to know, like, why we can't just sit on my stoop and talk, sir?" No, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, in order to get to know a person, you have to do the things that you guys both enjoy doing in order to get to know a person. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, wait a minute, what? Like, it's, oh, I'm not dating no woman. I'm not dating a woman, but you will take the first sexual offer that you get. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how does that even make sense? Like, how, like, make it make sense to me. It just sounds so crazy. You're not willing to put the time in, but you will definitely
Willing
expect
to
that.
put the dick in.
Right, right, right.
Right, so
And
that's a problem.
right, you want to invite a woman to your stoop, like, and then and then get in the bed, like, what? No, I don't want to sit on your stoop. No, no, no. I don't want hemorrhoids. Sorry, no.
Not the roids.
Don't you get that by standing on a hard surface? Like,
Preparation A.
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
everything is relevant. I mean, I so appreciate both sides of the spectrum, gentlemen, because it's hard to be on the inside looking out, and so I'm happy, we're telling our experience from the outside looking in right now.
Oh, and one more thing. You know what I don't like too? Like, the double standards sometimes that these men have. Like, oh, my woman gotta be this, my woman gotta be that, my woman has to be this, my woman has to be that. And it's like, in the same breath, you guys are buying the 3-pack of boxers from the man selling them in the street, but you want the standard of your women, to be off the scale.
Yeah, I do that more. Yeah, I do
Wait
that
a minute,
Hold
more.
up.
what?
Hold
Yeah, I
up.
do that
What?
more.
I honestly, like, I would have to strongly disagree with that. Like, I think some men, like, their standard is just like, oh, my woman has to be this and that and
Would
this,
you
that, and
date a
that.
guy? Would you date a man not taller than you?
Yes.
Would I date a man not taller than me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, she's short.
I'm
She's
five
short.
two. I am 5'2".
Oh
No, I
well.
know where LeBron's going with this.
Let's
No,
just
but
Answer
make
the
it.
question. I
I
see where
would.
he's going with this.
I would. I'm
Semantics
five
making more
seven, and
sense.
I would. I would. I'm just letting you know. I've
All right,
changed.
so
I'm not shallow Hal
Let me
anymore.
play this
all
voice
right,
note before
so
we continue. We'll hear what our listeners is saying.
I feel like when it comes to dealing with people, people are always expecting better to be out there. So they're not really gonna give their 110% into a single person when they feel like there could be better.
Hmm.
There's
Which is
always
true,
better.
and
I
that's
And
just
I
feel
fine.
think this
like there's
this
always
holds true for men. Men are always looking for something better, the next best thing, and it's horrible because how
Women
can
are also.
no?
There's women
Who
out
said
there
that?
that are like that.
Facts.
Well, no, I'm
David
not
said
saying
that.
you're right. You're right. I'm not gonna say that that's not true, but I more times than not. So if we can just get into the ratio of men and women, right? We're always um on. There are more women than there are men, so we're always facing some type of deficit. Um, but yeah, it seems like they're always invested on the next best thing. Some men, not all.
Okay. I feel with the genders and the ratios,
Can't still didn't answer my
they're
question.
yeah.
wait.
I wasn't
What
gonna
did
say
what
anything
I
about that.
who me about the dating someone shorter than me?
Yeah. Uh,
I'm
She knew
I'm
exactly
Candy.
five
what
two.
question it
That's
was.
all I'm saying. I am 5'2". I
all
am
right.
five two.
He's 5'1".
She gonna get him some Crocs, and they gonna go skip to my Lou on a date,
Oh
child.
my god.
Remember, she's the
Five
bling queen.
one. Okay, so this goes back to how we was talking about like aesthetically like certain things look good. I just think that aesthetically like I would not look good with a man shorter than me.
No,
Mm.
that means no.
So yeah,
Get
clearly.
straight. Pull off the band-aid. The guy said that means no. You need to say it.
So
Say it with your chest.
so is that a standard?
It sure is.
It's a
Because it
preference. It's
sounds
a
like a
very
It's a
man.
it's
standard.
It sounds
it's
like
a
a man
strong
who has a certain preference about the women he dates. That sounds exactly like what you just said.
it's a strong preference. It's a very strong
Oh,
preference.
that's a standard. He could be
That's
a
a
lawyer.
standard.
He could
It's
be
different.
flying you out doing
Facts.
everything he's supposed to be doing for you. Just because he's 5'1", you would not date him.
He could be a professional jockey and they get rich. They don't grow taller than 5'1".
Well, they have to be small to ride the horses, but I
That's
mean
what I'm saying. But you wouldn't date him.
I mean
I
listen,
would date him. I'm grown. I'm grown enough to have gotten past that. If
Thank you,
there's
I'm
Yori.
not I'm
no,
not that
I
mature.
mean,
I'm not that
she
mature.
got 1 inch. You're not mature enough for the 1 inch.
Yo,
For
I'm
the one
five
inch shorter than
two.
you.
I am five
Wait, what are
two.
we talking about here?
No, no, she's saying because Juan said 5'1". She said she's 5'2". So
Oh,
you wouldn't date
oh, okay.
someone 1 inch shorter than you, Candy?
I'm 5'2". Do you know what a man of 5'1" looks like? Like any man shorter than me is like in middle school, and these middle schoolers are still taller than me. Like
You gonna wear that jersey you asked
I,
for on the date.
I don't want to
these, these sneakers got extra heels on them now, child. You
I
probably
don't
wouldn't
want
even
a
notice.
varsity, I don't want a varsity basketball player. Like, I don't want a school varsity player. Like, I don't know. Like, now I'm just saying, like, honestly, like, when it comes to standard, like, I just think sometimes, like, these men, it's just like, my woman has to be this and that and blah, 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 and this and that and the third. And
But
it's
that's
just like,
exactly what you just said. That's
no,
exactly what
but
you
I
just
That's
just,
said.
exactly
I
what you
just,
just said.
no, 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 no. I don't think, like, physically, there's nothing that a man or a woman can do about their height. They can't change that. So that they can't change that. What I'm talking about is like women, I mean men, they seek a woman like, oh, she got to have her own job. Well, of course everyone has their own job, but she has to have a job, she has to have her own place, and she has to have this. And it's just like men, sometimes I see a situation where men don't come to the table with the same thing that they are requiring. That's what I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about height. So
Right,
See that?
because okay, men will be bad built. And I'm not saying that all men, right? But then they want someone with the hourglass shape.
right, right,
And they could be losing hair and then don't want you to have a wig or weave.
right, but
Um,
you have a dad bod, right?
right. So I mean I get where Candice is going with it. I mean, and I'm sure, women have their standards. They're, not going to deal with a shorter man or men with kids or whatever the case may be. But it just seems like it's more prevalent with the men wanting different things from women because they have the advantage in
Give it a
numbers.
chance. I would just say give it a chance. You
The
never know.
5'1"?
The
Give it a
fact
chance. You
what?
never know. Never know.
Listen, that could be your Prince Charming, and you would
Exactly.
never
No,
know
Candice, I think you're
because of
wrong
your
about this.
standard.
No, Candice is very
Now
fickle,
with
guys.
kids, that's a different story. With kids. But let
What
me
do you
play
mean?
this voice note.
But what do you mean? Oh, okay.
Honestly, I'm 5'3", and I can't see myself with somebody shorter than me.
Thank you, Miss Pacheco. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I am
We're not
super.
denying it. We're just saying
There
that
you
that's a
go, Mr.
standard.
Chanko. You just lost your time with the producer of Warner Brothers because you're
I'm
5'3".
crying.
There you go.
We're reclaiming our time like Maxine Waters.
Exactly.
Well, I don't want that to be the only thing that we're gauging because it doesn't necessarily have to be a height thing, right?
Right.
I think
I'm just messing
women
with
are
her.
more, yeah, no, I think women are more accepting of men's flaws or and insecurities than men are of women. But would you know go to this person for a booty call if need be, right? Someone that they don't see on their arm, but can see after dark. And I
Right.
think that's not fair. I don't
That's
I don't think that's fair.
but I believe
Women
that
don't have the same opportunity.
Not as much because they don't have the same opportunity for a single man. No, they don't. A single man. You guys know what that is.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Okay. And I have two other men on the line that are crickets.
I'm still wet behind the ears,
Uh,
so you can say
You're not wet behind the ears. You're 32 years old. You're not fucking wet. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you're younger than all of us, but you're not wet behind the ears. You're making excuses. You're
I
not
just wanted
fucking
you
wet
to
behind the
explain it for the
ears.
listeners. That's all.
Oh, okay, I know. Hello, listeners. This is Yori. You're not wet behind the ears. You need to be making some critical life decisions right now, or you're gonna be on a podcast in 14 years with your nephews. No, I don't know who's happily and what right now. But what I'm saying to
mhm.
you is you have to take responsibility and you have to compromise. No one is perfect. You're not perfect. Go with someone that feeds your soul. Like for me, I need to be mentally stimulated. I can't just be with someone aesthetically pleasing. So that's why I can date the shorter guy and the more unattractive gentleman. I can because if you stimulate my brain cells, then that's something more important to me.
That's dope. Let me get this voice
That
note.
is dope. Sure.
Some dudes come with the Napoleon complex where they feel like just because they're short, they got a big attitude. And then when you come out crazy just because they're coming out crazy, then you're the bad guy and the bully. I'd rather not.
Hmm.
So we definitely, if we do
is
this
is
again, we
is
definitely have to add Miss Pacheco
is
because
that
she's dope.
labeling? Is that labeling?
Oh, clearly,
Is that labeling? Because
that's clearly
you
labeling.
know, you know, what I've
What
come to,
short guy Napoleon complex? That's what you guys are referring to?
yeah,
Because
because
it's true. Even if you
but
don't say it,
but
even if you don't call it Napoleon, it's it's
no,
it's
it's but what's crazy about that though, right? Because I believe we all have insecurity. Some people don't address it. Some people don't so they say him being short is an insecurity, so he lashes out to shows his muscle or whatever. But we all have that one thing that we are a little funny about. It's just that everybody has somebody that brings it out of them. You know, sometimes we don't care what people think, but then you got that one person that you care about everything they think. And that's the same person that can turn that sweetheart into an animal. So,
Mm-hmm.
we can't use the Napoleon thing as a reason to why he act crazy. Sometimes that happens because people tend to literally, and I'm not being funny, look down on you. People don't like people don't like to feel like people's talking.
Pun
Nobody
intended.
nobody wants to feel like somebody is talking at them versus talking with them.
Mm.
And in most situations, I don't think people know the difference of conversing and talking because I talk to my dog. I converse with everybody else.
Ah,
Mm.
Mm.
deep.
So now when you're in a relationship and I find that you're talking to me, I'm confused about that because if it's a two-sided conversation, I don't want to listen to a whole hour of you telling me about me and we can't have a adult conversation about us. Because sometimes we don't address realistic situations. You know,
Well,
some sometimes it's hard to address a situation especially
you're involved.
when you have two strong people in a relationship, and you having a disagreement. Because I don't think people understand what a disagreement is. People say, "Oh, we was fighting." No, I was not fighting with you. I disagreed with you. It was definitely not a fight. You said something, I didn't agree. But until we can start differentiating a lot of those little different things, you can't impose your feelings on me. You understand? Because sometimes people throw their feelings on you. Listen,
Mm.
listen, listen. If you feel a certain way, I can respect how you feel, but don't say what we feeling or what is not happening with us. No, it's not happening with you. That's how you feel. I don't feel that way. I believe every relationship has problems. I believe my mother told me you work on your relationship every day. They just don't work by themselves. So if you're not working on your relationship every day, when you have a problem, you will not know the difference. Because what happens is if you've been waiting so long to say that one thing to your partner, of course it turns into an argument. You know why? Because you're not conversating the way you should be or communicating the way you should be, the first chance you get that 5 minutes to have that conversation that you should have had 3 months ago, you're going to try to dump. Now, I know my HR person know what dumping is.
I do. And I
You
also
start
Mhm.
know, yeah,
you
yeah,
start
I
to
do.
dump because you want to get it all out because you don't know when you're going to have that opportunity again.
Mhm.
And what
I hate
happens
I
is,
hate dumping. I hate dumping.
right? But you know
In
what the
in a
problem
relationship,
is?
I hate it.
But you know what the problem is? That's when objective listening take place. Can you sit there and listen to your partner for 5 minutes without interjecting, without interrupting? Because it's hard. People say, "Oh, I can do that," but you know how hard it is to sit there and listen to. And mind you, you have your own opinion, you have your own feelings, your own thoughts. You understand? You have things that you went to too, that you're going through, are going through, went through, and you want to get them out. So sometimes that other person may not never get the chance to finish saying what they say because every little chance you get to jump in, to interject, you're going to put yourself there. And you know what that turns into? The same, you end up right back where you was because nobody never actually got the chance to say how they felt. They just blamed each other for why everything is wrong.
Yeah, I
Well, I
mean,
think a lot of
people are
human
listening.
Yeah, let me play these
Sorry.
voice notes real quick. We got two.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the short complex or the Napoleon complex, some men that I've known that have been shorter than me have shown abusive behaviors because they now need to feel like they are overpowering a female. People nowadays listen to reply and not listen to understand.
I
Right.
agree.
Yeah, it's not nowadays though. It's just in general because I mean we're doing it now, right? Some of us, and some of us aren't. Or you know, it just happens. I think it's natural, but I think we definitely have to work on listening to understand and not to reply. I think
You
it's very important. I'm trying to teach. You know, that's a learned behavior. It really is.
you you ever hear this saying self care? People don't
Yeah,
know
of
what
course.
self care is either, right? You say if you tell somebody, listen, you need to express yourself, but you just don't know how. Maybe you should get help with asking somebody to help you express yourself. So you seek therapy. But in our community, if you tell somebody you speak it to a social worker, they be like, oh man, that nigga got issues. He crazy. So that's another problem that you have. The other problem you have is I don't know if y'all ever heard adverse childhood experiences.
Nope, I
That's an
never heard of that.
ongoing thing. Adverse
Hmm.
childhood is you're traumatized,
Yeah, traumatized things from your childhood,
right?
abusive parents, things like that.
Yeah, so you bring all of that with you. And because you don't get help for it, every little situation turns into that. Every little situation is you know, an angry person ain't nothing but a hurt person in reverse. You know, and I can say growing up the way we grown up, right? In the hood, in our communities, that sometimes we create those monsters. Not intentionally, but we do. Prime example, I'm gonna give you an example. You got a man and a woman that got two kids. One is a girl, one is a boy. The girl hurt herself. You pick her up, kiss her, hold her, rock her, put a band-aid on her boo-boo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your son fall, and the moment that he cry, you tell him,
Man up.
just stop acting like a girl. He's first of all, or act like a man. First of all, he's not a man. And what that do is after a while, it starts to build resentment,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
Mothers by nature are nurturers, right?
I agree.
Fathers are sometimes nurturers too, depending on the dynamics of the household or the situation. But they don't know what they are doing when they do that because it's generational. You thinking it's like this. Your son is either a fighter or a yank.
That's not
But
true.
right? No, but listen, but do not confuse a fighter with being a punk because he may not be a punk. He just never win a fight. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a
True.
difference in that too. But until you can explain those key factors, like listen, losing a fight don't make you a punk. It just you.
No,
But
he's got a terrible record.
all of these things play a part, right? And then now when you get older, you carry that with you, right? Or how
Now
people
this,
the moment you feel somebody is saying something to you out of the way, right? Because you wear your emotions on the sleeve already, you haven't even taken the time to understand where the person is coming from. She just said something, or he said something that you didn't like, and it was automatically a problem.
hmm,
You know,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
right? No, I'm about to close it out. But and you when you go into a relationship like that, when you go into a relationship like that, it gets real crazy because when people is having a hard time, especially dealing with a situation, and they don't know how to address it, but y'all hurting and angry and you taking out on each other, nothing never gets solved, right? And the first thing they're gonna say, "Oh, she did this." It's never a we thing. Like, where did we go wrong? And that's the reality of it. Even with look, I'm gonna take it a step further. Even with parenting, right? Your kid do something, y'all might be separated. The kid do something, the first thing they say is, "It's your fault." No, you can't control your kid. And by nature, kids are manipulators anyway. They'll play both parents against each other. We have to be aware of that also, right? But that's where the communication part comes in. But when you're angry and bitter and communication is off, it's a disaster on all levels.
Mm.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. So hold on. I want to address two things that you said, Charlie. First, the one with children being manipulators. One, I disagree with that because number one, you've ever seen a child not honest?
No,
Right.
A child will
Dave,
tell you
Child
no,
straight
and
up.
Dave,
drunks.
Dave,
Children and drunks.
look,
Listen,
Dave,
a child will tell
Dave,
you straight up, your breath
no,
stink.
no, listen,
He's
Dave,
3.
no. Listen, see, and that's where people get manipulated. Being a manipulator is not a liar.
No,
It's
I never said
it's
a
not this.
liar.
No, you said honest. The point that I'm
Yeah,
making
but
is
I, but I,
when I
go
say
ahead.
kids manipulate, when I say kids are manipulators, prime
Uh-huh.
example. Anybody that got more than that got a kid, I'm quite sure went through this. You in the house with your son. He say,
Uh-huh.
"Dad, can I watch TV?" You be like, "No, do your homework first, and then I'll see." His
Mm-hmm.
mother come in from work or whatever she doing, and he be like, "Mom," he never says that you told him no.
Yeah.
He just asks her, "Can he look at it?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Yeah." Now you and her is arguing about why y'all didn't communicate about him watching TV, and the whole time y'all arguing, he's watching the TV.
Yeah, but you know what that is? That has nothing to do with the
Communication.
child. That's a lack of communication. So the child only did what every human does, tried to get what he wants.
Yeah, but it's manipulative, Dave.
Kelly, you think a child is really sitting and plotting and scheming these
No,
things
no,
with
I no.
manipulate?
Look, but that's even if they don't know what it is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's manipulative.
All right. So if my son comes in and he asks me, I tell him no. He asks his mom, she tell him yes. Who's going to beef in that? The parents, or should both of the parents beef with the kid?
Yeah, but until you establish that,
That means
right?
there's no communication
Because
between both
be,
parents or
no,
the kid.
listen, because what happens sometimes is once you've seen that kid is doing something you told him not to do, and you say
Mm-hmm.
something, the mother gonna say, "But I told him he can watch it." It's never
Okay.
until that point happens, she will never know that you told him no before she got there. She won't know
I
that. That
understand
has to
that.
be established. But that's
Yeah,
after.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. What I'm saying is when you come in the house, okay, say like I catch my son, or I'm the first one home. I see a broken dish. I say, who broke this dish? My son says, not me. Okay, so now I'm assuming my wife did it, but she's not here for me to confront her yet. Okay. He didn't manipulate me. He didn't manipulate
No,
the situation.
that's not the same thing.
No, I'm
That's
just using as an example. What I'm saying is he did that out of fear.
no, but that right there is totally different than the example I gave. Because
Okay, now
when I
I
say
understand the example that you gave. What I'm saying is, so when my wife come in, I'm supposed to discuss with her, is this happening? I don't just come right in and fire like, hey, wait, you know, this happened this way. This is what I was told. No, the discussion happens. Hey, babe, did you break this? No. Okay, end of story between
But
us. Now we go to hell.
but that situation is totally different than him totally disobeying you. If you tell him he
No, no,
can't
no.
look
I
at
was talking
you,
about the lack. No, I was talking about the lack of communication,
yeah, but
not the
that's
fact that he's being a human and getting what he wants. The lack of communication. So there should be no argument between the mother and the father because they gave him two different answers.
no,
Yeah.
There
that
should be
part,
no argument there.
no. And your
Yeah, we went
example,
off on a tangent, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, we went.
clearly.
I mean, we started on Kevin Samuels, and now we're on to child manipulation. Candice and I actually have to go in the next few minutes, so I don't know,
Okay,
Juan, do you want to, put a pin in it? Do you want to ask one last question? I'd love to continue the conversation because I've had a great time, just listening to
agreed,
other
agreed.
people's opinions.
Well,
I think we need a part two.
we could also do a part two to this.
Okay,
If y'all guys have any topics, please let me know. Hit me on Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger, and we could definitely talk about the topics that y'all guys have any ideas for. But yes, we could definitely do a part two.
thanks.
Before we go, I just want to ask everyone how did they feel about this, talking about this today, and what did they learn from this conversation?
Oh,
Go ahead, David.
um, just listening to people. Um, doesn't matter if male, female perspectives are always uh educational. I've heard some things that I've never heard in my life, which was definitely educational and enlightening. It definitely puts my thought process in a different perspective. I think these conversations should be had way more than they have been on a broader scale. Hopefully, we can do that. Uh, it's definitely put me into thoughts into topics that I would like to discuss and get other people's opinions, and maybe I can be enlightened on those too. I think it'll just help me. Uh, I wouldn't say grow. I'd say expand as an adult. I mean, grow and expand is the same thing, but I just think I don't think we ever stop learning. I think there's just things that we don't want to hear as a truth, and we just block that out. And with these conversations, I think it's going to open up a lot of people's mentality, I guess you would say, their uh, their mannerisms also, because to have this discussion and one mic is definitely a breath of fresh air. It's definitely a breath of fresh air.
Thank you for that, Dave. Ken,
Candice,
Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
she
Mm.
was food prepping, guys.
I'm sorry, I'm vegan. Food prep is key. Food prep is key. No, I enjoyed myself. I definitely enjoyed myself. It's definitely always good to hear, the other side of things, and for someone to give you a different perspective, about an idea, or just to kind of play on what you think, or your thoughts were, and again, to hear a different perspective about things. Yeah, because it's good to learn. It's good to learn. It's good to know, other people's thoughts. It may put your own mind in another place or whatever, and reconsider some of the things that you may be going through in life, or just some of the thought process that you have. So I always think that these round table, like, open discussions are always good. It's kind of like hood therapy, I guess.
Team Summit.
Yes. I
Team
think
Summit,
Not Team
you older than
Summit.
you think, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I think he has surpassed us a little bit because I would have never said Team Summit, child.
Team Summit.
Well, I mean, what else?
Lord, he's traumatized. I'm gonna talk to you offline.
Yuri, how about you?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It beat my expectations. I'm I'm a procrastinator. So probably at 7:57, I was gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." But I'm happy that I logged on. I'm happy for the dialogue. I'm happy to listen to other people's opinions. I'm happy to learn. I was happy to learn. I like to gauge people's, different perspectives, and I enjoyed myself. I definitely enjoyed myself. So I thank you for the invite, Juan.
Right.
Yeah,
And last but not least, my boy Charlie.
yeah. I really just think that it was therapeutic, and
Hmm.
even though we jumped off course here and there, it was just good just to be able to get some of those things out, and
Facts.
and hear where everybody was coming from, because like I said, this last year and a half put a lot of things in perspective for a lot of us, I would say, and just being able to take some of the things that we've experienced just in the last year or so, and and apply them to our personal life and talk about them now, versus past and present relationships and situations. You know, um, I'm pleased with it. And like I said, I love listening. I'm a real good listener, and I learned something today. And I would never buy nobody another fucking baby doll again in my life.
Ah,
That's the
thank
best
you. That
note
was
to
a good
end on.
punchline.
That was the
Oh,
best one.
shoot.
Man,
Thank
you gotta
you.
come back with her
Thank
next
you.
time, man.
We're
Next
gonna have to
episode.
invite her dad on to tell us what was his thought process.
I just want to say thank you for everybody taking the time out to be on here for a little bit. I know everybody could have been doing something else, so I just want to say I appreciate everyone for giving their time and being able to do this. Again, we will probably most likely be doing a part two to this. We're just
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to see on everybody's schedule is like, and we'll figure out when we can do a part two. But
Okay.
just want to say again, thank you for everyone. Everyone have a good night and
Thank
stay
you.
safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay safe, everyone. Thank you
Thanks
so
for the
much.
invite.
Speak
Okay,
Yeah.
good
soon.
night, y'all.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yo, Lay, I'm gonna upload this on my podcast.
All right. Remember, I told you save the link and all that stuff, and you'll be
Yeah.
Gucci from there.
So that same link is that's how you send out the next
Yeah,
time for part
and
two?
you see
Okay.
the once I end the live, you can go back on your profile and you can
Okay.
see everything from what you did, and
Okay.
you can send the link to your email, and then you can download the link, just like and I Charlie put me onto the Anchor app, so I can put it on the Anchor app, edit it from the Anchor app, and then they'll upload on the platforms like Spotify
Okay.
and all that stuff.
All right. That'll work.
And whenever you two fellas, like if we just want to talk amongst us men, that'll be
Yeah.
perfect too. So if y'all got
Okay.
any ideas, y'all want to do something tomorrow or Friday, let me know. We can still do something together.
I bet, because I definitely want to talk about child support and the things
Yeah,
we
but yo,
go
you know
through and
what's
the
so
things we
crazy? We
don't.
we we never got to that, right? Ain't that
Yeah, we
crazy?
never got to that. But that's good conversation.
So I mean, if y'all guys ain't doing nothing tomorrow, we could definitely do the child support thing too.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
could do it at the
All right.
same
You
Let's
time.
see.
working tomorrow, Charlie?
Yeah. Just let me see what my day is gonna be like, and I hit y'all up early. Y'all can look to hear from me early.
Okay,
Copy.
bet.
All right,
Bet.
fellas.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Night later, man. Thanks for the invite again.
Anytime, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
All right. Later.